What is going on, y'all? Once again, we are back with another unfortunate episode of Jess Hilarious doing transphobic, saying transphobic things, and just disparaging trans women, and then not recognizing, and maybe she does recognize, who knows, but not recognizing that while you're being transphobic towards trans women and trans feminine people, and trans people in general, you're also disparaging cisgender women. So, I'm going to kind of give a little history of this. If we go back 2 years ago, and God, not even a full 2 years, 10 months, a year and 10 months ago, Jess Hilarious did a whole transphobic rant, and that was back in 2023. I mean, she was literally on some show, and people were at a live show, and people were filming her on stage, and she went on a whole transphobic rant against a trans woman for no reason. Also, if we go back to 2019, 6 years ago, she went on a whole racist, xenophobic rant and joke about an individual of the Sikh community that was flying on the plane with her and decided to make racist and xenophobic and Islamophobic comments as a joke against that individual on the plane. So this is not Jess Hilarious' first go around with ignorance and stupidity. So anyways, let's talk about it, all right? So I'm going to give you kind of like a timeline. 2023, July 26, 2023, a black comedian, Jess Hilarious, went on a transphobic rant, and at the time, T.S. Madison, who is a well-known black trans woman, black trans feminine person, spoke up in support of the trans community after Jess Hilarious made those transphobic comments 2 years ago, basically, okay? A link to this article is in the description box below, so you can check it out yourself, but I'm going to read some of it. So, when trans activist and actress T.S. Madison was scrolling on Instagram last week, mind you, July 26, 2023 is when this article on Rolling Stone was published. She never considered that a small circulating video from a trans TikTok creator would end in a transphobic rant from one of the internet's biggest black comedians. But that's exactly what happened. On Saturday, okay, this is July 2023, comedian Jess Hilarious posted a video to Instagram responding to trans TikTok creator Blessing Rose. Jess, whose real name is Jessica Moore, took umbrage with a video of Rose saying cis women don't own womanhood or periods. And as a stand-up comedian and internet star, Jessica Moore, is best known for the no-holds-barred approach to comedy and perfected on the MTV series Wild and Out. And it's the same energy she brought to Instagram with a fiery speech calling trans women delusional, mentally insane, and angry. Moore did not respond to multiple requests for comment from Rolling Stone. So this is what Jessica Moore, aka Jess Hilarious, said. Quote, "Who the F is gonna stand up for us?" Moore asked in the now deleted video. Quote, "And us, I mean real women, biological women. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between a trans person and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? The only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on." And this is how and I'm just going to be honest, you have a lot of cisgendered people who feel this way about trans people, about intersex people. Okay, these are also the same cishet people who feel the same way about gay people, bisexual people, pansexual people. And what gets me is you're calling everybody angry. Meanwhile, you're the one constantly screaming and hollering and acting like a wild banshee. Every time we turn around, it's you having diarrhea of the mouth, cussing, yelling, screaming, and looking like a wild idiot and embarrassing yourself. And then you're constantly on this, well, uteruses makes me a woman. Meanwhile, there are plenty of cisgendered women who don't have uteruses. Holy shit. Does that not make that cis woman a woman? because she doesn't have a uterus? Have you never heard of hysterectomies? Have you never heard of people can literally be born without ovaries or have ovaries that do not work? Holy shit. Heaven forbid you have cervical cancer. Guess what? One of the ways to treat cervical cancer is to remove the cervix, the uterus, the fallopian tubes, the ovaries. So I guess those are not real women, even though they were born cis. Also, every cis woman doesn't get a period. Everyone doesn't have a menstrual cycle. Not to mention, there are trans men. There are intersex men who do have ovaries, who do have uteruses, who can give birth, who do give birth, who have periods, who have a regular menstrual cycle. There are intersex men, intersex people who have uteruses, have a menstrual cycle. Hate to break it to you, but cis women do not own uteruses. They're not the only ones that have them. They don't own the menstrual cycle or the period. They're not the only ones that have them. And nobody is taking away anything from cis women by saying that. Not to mention, you have a lot of cis women who don't have uteruses and don't have menstrual cycles. Case in point, when you go through menopause, most of you cis women are going to lose the ability to have menstrual cycles. Not to mention, there's so many cis women who complain every time they go on their cycle. So while you're sitting up here trying to make it seem like it's a badge of honor, there are plenty of cis women who can't stand their menstrual cycle. Does that also make them less of a woman because they're not excited about bleeding once a month for a week straight? Wow. And you believe that we're mentally ill and we need to be in straitjackets and everything else. And mind you, the out cold part about this, and I keep saying this, when you look at white supremacy, when you look at transphobia, when you look at misogyny, they don't view black cis women as women, historically and presently. Okay, and the out cold part is Jess Hilarious has a very deep voice for a cis woman. And also has very quote unquote manly features for a cis woman. So it's really funny to me how it's always, I kid you not, it is always the people who don't look like who they claim to be who have the most to say about trans women, trans men, trans people. Okay? And I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. Your insecurities are loud and clear every time you attack a marginalized group of people that aren't even bothering you. Here it is. We are literally facing persecution. Right. Can't go to the bathroom. Can't play sports. Can't get health care. Can't serve in the military. You're going after us. Meanwhile, are you saying anything about P. Diddy, the man that's actually harming black cis women? Harming cis women. Are you saying anything about Chris Brown? Are you saying anything about President Donald J. Trump? Are you saying anything about the people that are actually harming you? No, but you're spending all this time spewing hate and animosity against a group that is trying to survive just like you. So that was that. And somebody went on, if a white comedian with a following of 5 million people deep posted a similar rant on Instagram, the backlash might have been enough to incur a late apology. But trans issues get far more dicey in the black community, despite the fact that transgender people of color, especially trans women, are far more likely to be murdered or experience violent attacks. According to a national survey from Pew Research, 2/3 of black adults, 68%, believe gender is determined by the sex you're assigned at birth, something that can't be changed. For the general public, that statistic is slightly lower, around 60%. According to Pew, data also shows there's no majority consensus among black adults on how trans community is treated in society. It's a weighty discussion, one where trans people also seem to find themselves the butt of the joke. People often use trans as an insult or dig, especially at black women with sharp jaws or broad shoulders, a specifically type of misogyny or Okay, black misogyny typically against black women and black feminine people, intended to humiliate. It's even an insult black comedians have specifically directed at Jessica Moore. But before the video was deleted, Jess Hilarious comments were overwhelmed with supporters who not only called the rant correct, but further misgendered, insulted, and maligned trans women. So T.S. Madison spoke up. Quote, there are so many real women that get mistaken for being transgender women, and that's where a lot of the anger comes from. Madison wrote, quote, I do hope they take a good look at how transphobia affects all women. And this is the truth. As you not seen, you literally have cisgendered men, cisgendered male police officers going into women's bathrooms to police cis women and accusing cis women of being trans women because they're not portraying the quote-unquote white feminist ideal. I'm just being honest. When we look at femininity, it is highly based on white women. When we look at masculinity, it is highly based on white men. Hate to break it to you, but misogyny, transphobia, so again, we're constantly trying to base how it is to be a man or a woman or feminine or masculine off of your oppressors who don't even want you to exist or have rights. Then you're divided and conquered by your oppressors. So you're fighting with people who have less freedoms and privileges as you. Then the group that's actually oppressing your stupid ass, you're sitting up aligning yourself with. Make it make sense. And like I said, a lot of black women, cis and trans alike, are accused of being men because they don't live up to the white feminine ideal. Hate to break it to you. Okay, that's the out cold part. They don't see you as a woman. And then the out cold part is other black comedians have accused Jess Hilarious of being a trans woman while she's sitting up here trying to double down. They don't even look at you as a woman, honey. Now, if Jess Hilarious believes that her uterus is her superpower, more power to you. Continue to believe it. You can have a uterus, you can have periods, you can give birth, you can carry a baby to full term and give birth and all of that. That is absolutely wonderful and beautiful for you, and I'm happy for you. Still doesn't give you the right to spew hatred and transphobic BS against others just because you feel that your uterus is your superpower. Okay? So, once again, Jess Hilarious' instance that only women can have babies was met with a bit of pushback this week on The Breakfast Club, which it should be. There are plenty of intersex men and trans men who can carry babies. There are non-binary people that are carrying babies. Cis women are not the only people that can carry a baby and give birth. Wow. And then when I hear humans, adults, people talk about, well, you know, you guys are just making up shit. Meanwhile, when you look at the animal kingdom, hate to break it to you, but humans are animals. We are literal mammals. When you look at the animal kingdom, there are various species that the male of the species is the one giving birth. What do you think seahorses are? Okay, so it's like, this is not some like random phenomenon. There are various other species of animals that the male is the one giving birth, or the male is what you would consider the primary custodial parent, aka look at the penguins. Again, a lot of when people want to be stuck on stupid and ignorance, it is wild, okay? And then even if you don't agree with trans people agreeing with trans men being able to carry babies or trans women also being women, you still don't have to be disrespectful, rude, and condescending towards people that you disagree with. So there's also a lack of emotional maturity. Anyways, so A guest, Lene Vaney, or Vanny, told the stand-up that anyone with a uterus can have a baby, even if they don't identify as a woman. Jess agreed while stressing, yes, if you have a uterus, you can have a baby. See the timestamp clip below. I'll put a link to this article and to the YouTube channel of the Breakfast Club in the description box below, so you can also see the clip, see the interview, all of that. The statement itself, however, rubbed many the wrong way, as Jess' comment was interpreted to mean that you are not a woman if you don't have a uterus, weren't born a biological female. This led to backlash for many in the queer community, including content creator Kevin Ortega Rojas, who called Jess to the carpet for her transphobia. See his breakdown below. Jess, again born Jessica Moore, however, has responded by doubling down on her take, posting a carousel of Instagram photos from her 2024 pregnancy, caption, "My uterus is my superpower," signed a woman. Check the post below, and you can look at all of this. All of this will be in the description box, so you can, do your own investigation and see what we're talking about. But the point is, why is it always her, literally, every year with something transphobic, something ignorant and stupid to say? And the thing is, she is too old to be saying half the stuff she says and acting the way she acts. Like, are you serious? I'm happy that you were able to give birth. I'm happy that you had a successful pregnancy and that you had a healthy, successful pregnancy and that you and the baby are alive and well today. Meanwhile, we have another black woman who is being kept on life support because of misogynistic, patriarchal bullshit where we have made abortions illegal and have decided that women and people who can carry babies, people with vaginas, people with uteruses, don't have bodily autonomy over their own body. So we're going to keep a woman that is brain dead and has been brain dead for nearly 4 months alive because at the time of her death, she was 9 weeks pregnant. While her family has to pay all of the medical bills for keeping her on life support. This is the crazy shit that we're talking about. Now, it's been 22 weeks now. So you think about that. This is the crazy shit that we're living in. And this is the mess that you're going to double down on. Meanwhile, another black cis woman has been dead for nearly 4 months. And they're keeping her alive because she was 9 weeks pregnant at the time. And then there's a high likelihood that when she gives birth, the baby will be dead and will not have a shot in hell of surviving. So, anyways, this is the mess that we're living in. This is the dystopia reality that we're living in. And like I said, trans folks can't go to the bathroom, can't play sports, can't get jobs, can't serve in the military, are literally being murdered and killed in the black and brown communities by black and brown cis men the vast majority of the time, who are in denial about their attraction to trans women, trans men, trans people. Not to mention all of the homophobia that is also taking place in the misogyny and the biphobia. All of this, tools of white supremacy, tools of oppression. Okay, and like I said, Jess Hilarious is also xenophobic and racist as hell and stupid. This is not the first go around. Like I said, 2019, 6 years ago, the stupid ass comment that she made then. This is an ongoing track record of just diarrhea of the mouth and being stuck on stupid and being proud about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the mess. And like I said, here it is: trans women, trans men, intersex women, trans feminine, trans masculine, non-binary. People are living their lives, minding their own business, and constantly being thrown into the butt of the joke for merely existing. It is ridiculous. A lot of these comedians are nothing but fucking bullies. And I mean, I'm sorry, but if your entire comedy matchup is you talking shit about people, you're not funny. Okay? Like, again, these are the kids that got made fun of and then grew up to become the bully. That's typically what we're seeing. Because again, your whole routine is trash talking other people. Again, that's what makes you hee hee ha ha. This is why I be saying what I be saying. Y'all gonna learn. Because while you sitting up thinking that you going 10 toes down, they don't even view you as a woman, honey. Because you don't live up to white feminine ideals. Same thing to the cis men. They don't even view you as men half the time. Because you don't live up to the white masculine ideals. So, at some point, people got to get real. Okay? Anyways, information is in the description box below as always. Stop the transphobia. Stop the misogyny. Stop the homophobia, the biphobia. Stop the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? People are 30 plus years old and literally acting like 15, 16-year-olds in high school. Hell, I'll even go further than that. Y'all acting like y'all in middle school or in 5th, 6th grade on the damn playground making fun of people. Grow up.